For more on the Mississippi River shipping slowdowns, as well as other timely worldwide ag issues, here's Rose Dunn with a special guest.
Joining me now is NDSU Extension Crop economist Frayne Olson to talk about this and some other factors around the world that are affecting markets. First of all, I'm interested to hear more about how the low water levels on the Mississippi are affecting barge traffic.
Yeah, so there's two big things that are impacting the flow of grain. First, obviously, the river levels are very low, and so there's obstructions as well as some sandbars that are appearing. So for every one of the barge tows, when a tugboat is pushing the barges, they're shortening those to be able to have more maneuverability, to be able to get around some of these obstructions. And they're not able to load each of the barges as heavily to try and increase the draft, so they're not sitting as low in the water. And as a result, the combination of the shorter tows as well as the fill levels, they're at about a 50% normal capacity.
How is it affecting markets?
We're seeing an increase in movement through the PNW, Pacific Northwest, which of course that has a pretty big impact on what we see here locally. So even though the cost of transportation is increasing, not only barge traffic, but also rail freight, we're not really seeing big changes or shifts in the basis levels, which is, again, fortunate for the farmers up here.
A little bit of light there. Switching gears now, what seemed to be a promising international deal to help Ukraine move about 10 million metric tons of grain out seems to be falling apart now because Russia. What's happening there?
Yeah, so there was an attack on one of the Russian naval bases in Crimea, which is the peninsula that divides Russia from Ukraine. The Russians are claiming that the drones that attacked that naval base came through the corridor that vessels are allowed to be able to ship grain. And so right now, Russia has suspended that agreement. They have not formally withdrawn, but they have suspended the agreement. There's very intense negotiations going on right now to try and see if they can work out some resolution to this to allow additional grain shipments over time.
So how is that affecting markets?
So we've seen quite an increase in wheat prices because wheat is a large export for both Ukraine and for Russia. That is also spilling over into a little bit of the corn market, so putting some strength into the corn market.
Do you think this suspension will affect spring wheat prices here?
Well, we've already seen some lifting of prices. Again, the entire global wheat complex is at a higher level right now because of limited supply. However, longer term, I'm not sure that it's going to have a big impact on U.S. spring wheat exports. The countries that we export spring wheat to are primarily in South Asia, the Asian countries, and we also had a very large Canadian crop. So there's really, in North America, some pretty good supplies of hard red spring wheat available.
All right, thanks for your insight today, NDSU Extension Crop's economist Frayne Olson.
Since that interview, Russia announced it would resume participation in the deal, freeing up grain exports. Thanks for watching AGWEEK TV on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe. We put out new videos every Saturday.